I hate it when people lie to me. I even wrote a book, my 7th, titled Don't Lie to Me, out in September. The person who lies assumes you're too stupid to fathom the truth, so they just keep piling it on. In their nomination of Bunker Joe Biden, the DNC described an America that was dark, dreary, and depressing. Everything wrong in America is President Trump's fault. But for Donald Trump, we'd all be happy, prosperous, frolicking along the hillside, picking daisies. They've forgotten that under Donald Trump, we had the greatest economy this nation has ever seen, the greatest employment of African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, and women that this nation has ever seen, more jobs than people to fill them, a GDP brought back from the Obama 1% new normal, 500,000 manufacturing jobs brought back after Obama said it couldn't be done. Under Donald Trump, the economy was soaring. The nation was optimistic because the rising tide indeed was lifting all boats. Michelle Obama proclaimed, "I'm here tonight because I love this country." I was happy to hear this because on March 12, 2008, she said for the first time in her adult life that she was really proud of my country because it feels like hope is finally making a comeback. She was 44 at the time. Then former President Obama, in an unusual display of vituperative hostility relatively foreign in presidential politics, said this.
Joe and Kamala will restore our standing in the world, a nation that stands with democracy, not dictators.
Really, Barack? Aren't you the one who stood with Iran's Ayatollah, sending him love letters to come back to the negotiation table as Iranians chanted death to America, as Christians were being beheaded, saying at a prayer breakfast that Christians should get off their high horses? You're the one who wouldn't stand with the only democracy in the Middle East, Israel, whose State Department actually gave money that was used in an unsuccessful attempt to defeat Prime Minister Netanyahu. You're the one who stood with Iran and sent them $150 million in cash and $1.8 million on pallets as they lied to you, spinning their centrifuges at their hidden Fordo nuclear facility. And by the way, it was Donald Trump who has forged a historic peace deal between Israel and the UAE to be followed by many Arab nations. Stand with dictators? You're the one who allowed China to continue to rob us blind in our trade deals and steal our intellectual property. You're the one too lazy to get rid of NAFTA, and you want to talk about dictators? You couldn't even figure out who was friend or foe. ISIS, a JV team? You didn't know if you should contain, dismantle, or defeat them, none of which you did, all of which Donald Trump did. And you and Bunker Joe are going to restore our standing in the world? Now, how is that going to happen? Does Joe start apologizing to everyone for being American? If America is so damn dark and dreary, why do people risk their lives to come here and fight like hell when we want to send them back to their country? Improve our standing in the world? If that means glad-handing instead of receiving money owed, like NATO dollars for American troops and protection, then keep your standing. We'll stick with Donald Trump and get the money that's owed to us. And if the money isn't forthcoming, we'll take our troops out like he did in Germany. Now, Joe Biden says our president refuses to lead and blames others. Now that's rich. I can't remember a time when Biden and Barack didn't blame all of America's economic woes on George Bush. And how about all those shovel-ready jobs, huh, Joe? They produced nothing but shovel-ready crap. Did Hunter get any of those jobs? Joe Biden says this is a life-changing election that will determine America's future for a very long time. Hey, Joe, you were in Washington for 47 years. What the hell did you do to improve our lot during those 47 years? But you are right. If you like being told what to say, think, and eat. If you like socialism, no police, a lockdown, no guns, and being taxed to the nines, this crew is for you. And you say character and democracy are on the ballot. No kidding. This is why, after you and Barack left, we chose an outsider, an anti-establishment candidate, and a populist as a president. Character and decency and democracy? You're the ones who broke the law. You're the ones who, from the highest echelons of government, lied over and over in sworn affidavits, and then lied over and over to a FISA court to get warrants repeatedly to spy on Carter Page so you could spy on a presidential candidate and then a president-elect. Aren't you the one, Joe, who sat in the Oval Office with President Obama and disgraced FBI Director Jim Comey on January 5th, 2017, recommending that Lieutenant General Michael Flynn be charged with the Logan Act so he wouldn't have the chance to take down the corruption in the intel agencies? You and your corrupt administration, with nothing for evidence, pull the wool over a judge's eyes. Or maybe forum shop to find a judge to bring down a president. You, Mr. Biden, and your ilk dragged this country through 2 years of hell in this Russia collusion delusion, a division where you sowed the seed of hate that you now claim to reject. And you and top of the Obama administration officials played musical chairs with prosecutors and judges and FBI agents, moving out Jeff Sessions, moving in Rod Rosenstein, moving Bob Mueller to special counsel when President Trump refused to appoint him as FBI director. Oh yeah, Mr. Biden, you and your ilk have created the very division that you protest and condemn. And pray tell, Mr. Biden, no mention of China in your little speech. A little too close to Hunter? A little too close to that $1.5 billion deal from the Chinese? Did you threaten anyone over there like you did in the Ukraine? No mention of the chaos and the anarchy that's going on in Democrat-run cities in the United States. No mention or support for the blue line of law enforcement that separates a civil from a barbaric society. You speak of racial injustice, but you say nothing about rioting and looting and burning and shooting going on America's streets. You and your ilk want to confiscate guns. Don't lie about it. And when people use those guns to defend themselves, your ilk arrests them. And Kamala doesn't even think the Constitution prevents her from confiscating those guns. One day you say you're absolutely in favor of defunding police, and then your campaign says you're not. Which lie is it? Both Joe and Kamala are against fracking, but like defunding police, that answer changes. Now there's talk of grandfathering fracking as long as it's not dangerous. Which is it? Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia are on the line, so why not say you'll grandfather things in? And it's so rich. While millions right now in California are sitting in the dark, these know-it-alls keep talking about the Green New Deal. And Joe, you forgot to mention at the convention that a huge percentage of Americans are going to see their taxes go up significantly. We can thank AOC and the Green New Deal for that one. Look, Joe, you know America changed after China unleashed the coronavirus. Wasn't it you and pals Nancy Pelosi and Bill de Blasio who said, let's go to Chinatown after President Trump blocked flights from China? And you called him a racist and a xenophobe? And now you say you'd shut down the country? So you agree the president was right when he did so. So do you now admit that you were wrong when you said this?
We have right now a crisis with the coronavirus emanating from China. This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
And if you're so experienced about Ebola, Mr. Biden, and pandemics, why didn't you and Barack leave any PPE, masks, and gloves in the event another pandemic were to hit? You're right, Joe. There's too much anger and too much fear. You and your ilk have created it. You have seeded it, cultivated it, and now you're using it as a sword. The American people see through it. Stop trying to ride both sides of every issue, and stop trying to scare people as if you were the only good and decent person in the race. Unlike you, Joe, Donald Trump made his own money, and he hasn't asked the government for it, and he doesn't cut deals while he's in the government for his son and his family. So stop with your sanctimonious, condescending, holier-than-thou nonsense, and above all, stop lying to me. And get out of the bunker.